Displaced residents of Old Fadama seek refuge with opposition party. Now, there are concerns that the much talked about demolition at Old Fadama has now taken a political twist. This follows the accusation that NADMO, the main opposition party, NPP, accusing NADMO for discriminating against perceived NPP members during the registration of persons to receive relief items.
Of discrimination, from what I'm being told. Others were taken based on their political affiliations, and those who don't seem to have political affiliations or feel that they are connected to the MPP then came here last night because they have nowhere to sleep. They slept here overnight. They have not looked at their things here. We need to immediately address the problem, and I'll use this your platform to tell people of NADMO that we are all Ghanaians, and so they should please go and locate and identify all of them.
So a number of displaced residents from Old Fadama, believed to be members of the opposition New Patriotic Party, today shook to the party's headquarters to seek refuge.
3 Metro must come. The news have been selecting. They be like it's a partial they are doing, and we don't want to fight with them. When we ask the security people, they say we cannot show them what to do. When we ask them, they say we shouldn't show them what to do. Then we give them last 3 days. The same thing they tell us. The man from the flatter house commanding them, I ask them, say the same thing. I cannot ask them what for him to do. Then I think when that be the case, we will come to we are MP people. We will come to our party office so that will help us to go home.
So has it become the case where one needs to be politically affiliated to be able to have access to basic amenities? Have politicians turned our rights into privileges so they can lure us to vote for them? Now, if truly registration for relief items are being done on political lines, then what really has become of us as a nation? We'll find some answers on today's big story. With me, Aisha Ibrahim. The supposedly NPP displaced residents, we are told, slept at the party headquarters Wednesday night. Now, these frustrated residents, numbering 53, were mainly women and children, with some pregnant women. NADMO officials have supervised the registration and transportation of some displaced residents of the demolished site, Old Fadama. But these residents say they have still not received relief items.
Since yesterday morning, by this time we are here.
Why? Why are you here?
We are here because we are in Somo and Goria, and our rooms have been destroyed. No place for we to go again, no food, no anything. Then the government announced that they are giving some plenty amount with free cash to our hometown, back to North. Everybody here in air, up to 33 good weeks, we are allowing outside that place free, no place to sleep, no place to eat. Nothing is done by that. If 2-3 Metro must come, the news have been selecting. They be like it's a partial they are doing, and we don't want to fight with them. When we ask the security people, they say we cannot show them what to do. When we ask them, they say we shouldn't show them what to do. Then we give them last 3 days. The same thing they tell us. The man from the flatter house commanding them, I ask them, say the same thing. I cannot ask them what for him to do. Then I think when that be the case, we will come to we are MP people. We will come to our party office so that will help us to go home. That's why we are here.
Why didn't you go to the NADMO office?
And the NADMO, they are doing that thing. And partial is that the NADMO, they are hearing my first. I am saying that there's a partial there because when you are ready to help everybody destroy. Why one way are going? This is not supposed to be a party. This thing. But the NADMO is aware that they are helping, but the thing is partial.
He's saying
that while he's here, he's a twist mother, small babies. His room has been destroyed with the husband. They are outside, lying outside with the children. Mosquitoes are biting the children. Look at them, even hunger, no place, even 2-3 weeks. He do not eat with the children, do not bath with them. So after that, when they come to mention the news, they didn't mention it. They have taken the thing like a political way. You see the name going in the names. Then even dog, when you're having dog, you come out. The dog know in house. That's why we also decided to come to our house to them to help her to go home. That's why he's here with the children.
The NPP's women's organizer is accusing NADMO officials for discriminating against displaced residents who are members of the NPP.
I was called that they had been here since yesterday after the order that they should move from Sodom and Gomorrah. Apparently, the government was supposed to relocate them and send some of them back to their homes. A lot of them are from Diari, Tolong, Savulugu, and other parts of the northern region, including Tamale. But it seems there was some form of discrimination from what I'm being told. Others were taken based on their political affiliations, and those who don't seem to have political affiliations or feel that they are connected to the MPP then came here last night because they have nowhere to sleep. They slept here overnight. They have not looked at their things here. We need to immediately address the problem. And I'll use this your platform to tell people of NADMO that we are all Ghanaians. And so they should please go and locate and identify all of them. The same thing happened with the flood. When we went to Adabraka around the Goel area, a lot of people had not been identified. It's important that when there's a problem, you identify all the people involved, because they are all Ghanaians, and give them a registration number so that you have a database of all of them. Then you know that I have 200 or I have 2 people who have been affected by the flood or the fire or by the displacement of people in terms of the Sodom and Gomorrah. This is not the first time and it will not be the last. So we must do things properly in this country. We can't keep doing things haphazardly. We must know that if indigents of the north are in Sodom and Gomorrah, how many are there? And if we are sending them back, how many of them are we sending back? So that we know that this is the total number. Ghanaians need to know that, and that we are taking all these people back. So we need so many number of vehicles. But when you don't do the identification and the registration properly, this is what will happen. Some will fall out of the net.
So how many people in total are you transporting?
53 people. 53 people have been registered here. That's the last number, 53. They've been here since yesterday, and we have to address their needs immediately. This is our office. Today is a working day. You cannot have them here loitering around. It's very sad. It reminds me of when Ghanaians were in Nigeria, and then they said Ghana must go home. So you are in Ghana and you must go home. Where is home? Where is home for these people? Some are pregnant, some have babies. You can interview them. It's a very unfortunate situation.
Now let's get onto the phone lines and speak further with the NPP's women's organizer, Otiko Jabbar, who's been accusing NADMO of being political. Good evening. We're very grateful for your time on today's big story. Hello. Otiko Jabbar, good evening and thanks for your time on today's big story. Well, let me speak a bit louder. I was just welcoming you on today's big story. But on what basis are you accusing NADMO of being political and, for that matter, discriminating against your supporters?
Thank you very much. I would like to extend my greetings to your listeners. With the displacement of Ghanaian citizens at the Fadama area, about 53 of them went to visit Nanadu because they had no other way of getting back to the north. And they came to the party head office yesterday, the MPP headquarters, and spent the night there. And upon the interviews, we realized that there was some form of discrimination when the NADMO officials were registering them to send them back to the north. They were not included based on partisanship. And that is unacceptable in a country where we believe in the rule of law and that all Ghanaians are equal before the law. And for a party that also being the ruling government, believe that they are for the vulnerable and social democrats. It's very sad and unfortunate that they would leave out some people because of their party. In Ghana, it doesn't matter whether you are from this ethnic group or not, or this religion or whatever. We are all a community of Ghanaians. And so I find it very, very sad that the NADMO and the government of the day, who are responsible for the welfare of our people, would discriminate so badly against people who are displaced by that very government.
But did you find out from NADMO at the point when your members made the complaint to you why they have still not received relief items?
I was more involved in organizing a vehicle for them to go back to the north, because for how long would they sleep at their party headquarters? Yesterday was a holiday, but today is a working day. It is not my duty to tell the NADMO what to do. They should know that when there was a flood, it affected people. The people who died, who knows what party they belong to? The people who were victims of the fire, who knows what is their religion or their ethnicity? It really doesn't matter. What matters is that indigents of Ghana, sons and daughters of Ghana, have been affected by a program of the AMA that they should be removed from where they are. And that is the responsibility of the government of the day. If you are giving 200 cedis to each person and that you are providing transportation, why do you leave some people out? It could be my child. It could be yours. Today it has happened to somebody. Tomorrow it could be you and I. And that is why we must speak against this form of discrimination. Ghana is one people, one nation, and we must build it as such.
Don't you think that the displaced residents are many, and for that matter, it will take NADMO some more time to reach every displaced person, and therefore this accusation could be false?
Then that is the more reason why they should reassure them. When people are anxious about where they will lay their head, where they will get food to eat, the government that has affected them that way must educate them and understand that, look, you've been registered. You are this number of people, and that we are going to come to you in turns. But when you start picking and choosing who goes and leaving some people out, then you open yourself up for this type of thing. As far as we are concerned, we are all Ghanaians, and it doesn't matter which party or which religion or which ethnic group they belong to. Let us focus on working for all Ghanaians. And that is NADMO's work, not mine.
So how have you been handling this ever since as a concerned political party?
This is what our presidential candidate did. He was able to get them 5,000 Ghana cedis for us to hire a vehicle for them. We provided them with some food, bread and water, and some small amount for them to buy some food. And the bus would take them to Tamale. They're coming from Tolong, Kumbungu, Tamale itself, and then Savlugu.
Well,
and this is a gesture that he had to do because really he had no choice. The people had come and they were sleeping at the head office, and he was touched by their story. Because as I said, my sister, it could be your child, it could be mine. When things happen, when there is a disaster, when there is a problem, and somebody who has not comes to you, you have to help the person. As the father of the nation, is the president whose responsibility it is to ensure that the various organizations like the NADMO are up and doing. They are to respond rapidly, because when there is a problem, it affects the person instantly. And if you don't handle them well, find emergency shelters for them, find them food, find them water, find them whatever they need. If you're asking them to go back, then get them the means or educate them. If you don't do that, then you leave them out of the net. And
well,
that is pathetic and unacceptable.
We have been trying to get NADMO officials to respond to this accusation. But finally, Madam Otiko Jaba, there are people who feel that you are politicizing issues. Don't you think so? Or would you agree with such people?
What has politics got to do with hunger? What has politics got to do with somebody who has nowhere to sleep? That is human nature. When somebody comes to you and they say, look, I have nowhere to sleep, and so I need transportation, you find them transportation. You respond to them. If they're hungry, you find them food. And that is what we have done. This has nothing to do with politics. And I expect the NADMO to handle the people without any partisan politics. We are all Ghanaians. People pay taxes. It should not be squandered. We were told, indeed, that the president said because he is a Northerner, all Northerners should vote for him. Why is it that Northerners are now suffering under his regime? The further that was introduced, of what benefit is it to the people of the North? I come from Bole as well. All these people come from the North. If the guinea fowls that flew to Burkina, if they had been given to these young people, would they not also have stayed back home instead of coming to Accra to seek greener pastures, and then their shelter is demolished and they have nowhere to go? What is political about that? It is the welfare of the state, the well-being of the people. That is why you vote for a government. And when people are in need and they cry for food and you leave them, then you have disappointed them. And
all of them to their hometowns.
Respond immediately.
Madam Otiko Jaba, have you been able to transport all the people from...
the 53 that came to our doors, we have done that. I don't know about others. It is the responsibility of the NADMO to ensure that every single Ghanaian who is affected by the demolition is registered, is given shelter until they can be transported, and is reassured. Have you any idea how traumatic it is for your home to be destroyed?
I think certainly NADMO must be up and doing to ensure, because it's almost a month now since these people were displaced. Many thanks to you, Madam Otiko Jaba, for your contribution.
Thank you
on today's big story. In the studio now is Latif Idris, who went to the NPP headquarters where these people besieged this morning seeking for help from their party, and he joins me in the studio now. Hi, Latif.
Sure.
What was the situation like when you went there today?
Yeah, you know, like you rightly heard from Madam Otiko Jaba, some of them, not all 53, but some of them were there last night, and so they slept over there, and the others joined them early this morning. And so, according to those that I spoke with, they said Nanado got the call that they've been there since, yesterday, so he rushed there. And you could see from their faces that some of them did not get enough sleep, especially the children among them. You could clearly see that some of them were hungry. According to the parents, they've not given them food for the past 3 days because NADMO were supposed to give them some relief items. That has not come. The amount of monies that were distributed, they say they've registered, they have numbers, but still, because they are tagged MPP supporters, they've not received anything from NADMO officials. And it's very sad we are not getting NADMO officials to respond to all these accusations.
A lot of times to get them. But at that point, were you able to speak with some officials to find out whether what they are saying is true?
Yeah, we tried, I've been trying to get NADMO officials to react to this for the past 3 hours or so. I've spoken to some of them. I spoke to one who works at the headquarters. He's in charge of relief. And what he told me was that the AMA did not engage NADMO officials
in this whole exercise.
Yeah.
So it came to them as impromptu.
If we zoom into the demolition at Old Fadama, NADMO says that AMA did not involve them in the demolition exercise. So they do not know exactly how to go about distributing relief items. If AMA had come to them and say, okay, this is how we are going to go about it. On this day, we are going to start demolition. Tomorrow, we are moving in from this area to that area. Then NADMO would have mapped out strategies to ensure that, okay, when you demolish this place, then these are the kind of relief items we are giving to this number of...
So that they will be prepared for the exercise.
But he says that AMA decided to go solo. And so NADMO is lost in all this, and they do not know exactly how to go about the distribution of the relief items.
But following this story all this while, do you have a sense that NADMO is handicapped?
NADMO, you wouldn't say a handicap because they've been giving out relief items. No, the case is not as if NADMO has been sleeping all this while. They've been on the ground, they've been registering. Since flood and fire started, they've been on the ground. I witnessed it myself. They've been registering people, and so you wouldn't say NADMO is handicapped. They are working, but the accusation, this very accusation that they are distributing relief items based on party colors, that is the critical issue.
But you have also been at Old Fadama in recent times. Did you see anything of that sort, that they're being choosy and picky in distributing relief items?
I didn't get that sense the last time I visited Old Fadama. So this one has come to me as a surprise, you know, because you go to Old Fadama, almost all of them queue every day to get the bus arrives and then pick them, those who are ready, get on board, transported up. No. So you would get the sense that, okay, maybe they've given them numbers and say that, okay, from 1 to 50, you get onto the first bus. Subsequently, the rest will also follow. So I asked those I spoke to at the party headquarters this morning, have you been registered? He told me, yes, I've been registered. So I asked of his number, do you have your number? Do you know your number? He told me, no, I can't tell you my number offhand. So I'm, you know, thinking that, okay, maybe they've been registered. It is not yet their turn to get on board and go up north.
Okay, but speaking with them, how did they come to this conclusion that NADMO is discriminating against it? Is it the fact that NADMO comes and say, hey, you are MPP, so step aside, and you are NDC, so take this? Is that the case?
The accusation is that they get some NADMO officials going around the community, doing their own investigations, asking questions. They will come to you, find out your party cards, your political affiliation. Are you with the NDC?
That's what they said?
That is what they said. Those I spoke to, but you know, we cannot verify whether it is true or otherwise. But that's their point. That's NADMO have been going around asking them which political party they belong to. Then, okay, they give you, you know, priority over those who belong to other parties. Or if you do not belong to any party, then maybe you are lost in all this, you know.
We've still been trying to get NADMO to respond to this. Their phones are off. Earlier on, they assured us they were going to speak to the matter, but now their phones are off. So if you're hearing us, NADMO, please switch on your phones and let's speak to the issues. You have been accused of discriminating against people who are MPP. We want to find out the truth, if that is really what is happening. We'll also be gauging the mood of a political scientist to tell us whether these politicians are helping us at all, because we find out that a lot of the times we're playing politics with the very core issues that is affecting us as a nation. Let's see, finally, what we want to add something.
It's strange that not more officials are refusing to speak to us on this issue, because this accusation is serious. If you are being accused of picking, you know, you have to... Exactly. I think this is the right platform for NADMO officials to react to this. Otherwise, it will go down and people will begin to draw the conclusion that, yes, it is true that NADMO have been, you know, discriminating against...
And the story may be different.
Exactly.
And so it doesn't really make any sense if they are not willing to speak with us. I feel that NADMO should come out clear and respond to this, whether it's true or not. But in all of these, how would you assess NADMO? I mean, since the 1 month of twin disasters, we've seen them on the ground, even though they say they were not alerted by AMB before embarking on the exercise. They've been there. They've been doing something. How would you assess them?
Yeah, you know, like I said, you know, NADMO, they've been on the ground. They are doing what they are supposed to do. Again, that is why I find it strange they are not ready to speak on this issue. Just clear the air. If you know you are not picking amongst, you know, who is A, who is B.
Why are you running away from the issues?
Because I've seen them on the ground. They are working. They are giving out relief items. We follow them. We get them going to places and giving out all these items. So if this accusation has come up, I think they have to, you know, react and respond to this.
Well, many thanks to Latif Idris. You've been helpful to today's big story. Now, let's get on to the phone lines because we have Dr. Opokwedu. He's a political scientist to speak to the issue. Good evening. Extremely grateful for your time on today's big story.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you.
We've always had the cause to complain about how very critical issues affecting this nation has been politicized. We're still trying to get NADMO to respond to the accusations, though. But listening to these displaced residents, are politicians not worsening our plight as a country?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if what happened and what I read is true, then this is a clear case of discrimination, and it's unnecessary, it's uncalled for, and it's completely unwarranted at this time of our national development. And I think if it did happen, then the politicians are really destabilizing the cohesion and stability of our country.
Now, many people are those who believe that politicians normally do not take our interest at all or the nation's interest at heart, but their own personal interest. And that has led us into situations like this. Have politicians caused more harm than good to us? Should we give up on them?
Well, it is not possible to give up completely on politicians because we would always need people to govern and so on. And politics, I mean, man is by nature a political animal, and so on. I think it's rather strange that in times of democracy, when numbers matter, when people would want to have their mandate renewed, they could be discriminatory as they've been now. And because it's quite an illogicality. I mean, you have the opportunity to do something to win votes, and you decide to do otherwise. And so I will not say we should completely give up on politicians, but I think that this kind of behavior is an illogicality and quite clearly unwarranted.
But the possibility of this accusation being false should also not be ruled out, because if it's false, then it means that the MPP could also be frustrating the work of NADMO, because cooperation by these displaced residents who may have been brainwashed, they've not received items just because they are MPP, will be zero. Does that help matters?
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't at all. And I agree that it's quite possible that it's not true, but if about 50 adults made up of women and men go to a political party office and say that they've been discriminated against, I find it difficult to believe that 50 people can be wrong. And so it has to be looked at very carefully. In any case, even if they were not being discriminated against because of their political affiliation, it is still wrong at this time when we expect a government to be alive to its responsibility to protect its citizens, to ignore people who have gone through the kind of experiences they went through the last 2 weeks. So it doesn't really matter whether they are in this or that political party. They are Ghanaians, and the government has the duty to protect. It has the responsibility to protect. And if that means anything at all, it includes the fact that people who have become homeless may or should be assisted to go back home.
Well, many thanks to you, Dr. Opoku-Edo. We really appreciate your time on today's Big Story. That's where time will allow us. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. We'll be back with Joy News Interactive.